You know, when you think about the book of Exodus, you've got to continually remind yourself that God was on the move, that God was in the process of coming through and doing what He had promised. That He promised to Abraham way back in Genesis chapter 15 that the people of God would be in slavery, but they would be delivered, and He would deliver them. And that's what's going on here. There's no way that it can be prevented. And Pharaoh and his army can't stop the hand of God. And so you see in chapter 14, the last two verses, this is at the very end of the crossing of the Red Sea, it says this: "Thus the Lord saved Israel that day from the hand of the Egyptians. And Israel saw the Egyptians dead on the seashore. Israel saw the great power that the Lord used against the Egyptians. So the people feared the Lord, and they believed in the Lord and in His servant Moses." You've really got, I guess, what you would call a moment of awe in the lives of the Israelites. They will quickly forget. It won't be long before they're grumbling and complaining. They're going to get hungry and grumble and complain, thirsty and grumble and complain, and anything they can possibly grumble and complain about, they will. But this is one of those mornings of reverence. It's like us on Sunday morning when God begins to reveal Himself through the worship and the Word, and we repent and believe and desire that God work differently in the coming week than He did in the week before. That's really what's going on here. They're in awe that God has faithfully delivered them, and He's also faithfully destroyed the Egyptians because the Egyptians were in the way of what He was doing with the Israelites. I hope that you would ask God to give you this type of reverence and awe and faith regardless of your circumstances. I pray for you and for myself as well that God would sustain us in such a way that our faith would not ebb and flow in the good and bad, but we would always stand firmly on the rock, that we would always have our eyes fixed firmly on Jesus, the perfecter of our faith, and that we would not waver regardless of what He brings our way.